Guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca, and as you guys can tell, I am home. I am in my space. I'm recording in my space, and it feels so good to be home. Today, I wanted to talk about control in marriage, control in relationships. Now, I want to specifically speak to the wives, the girlfriends, the fiancés out there. I want to talk to the women because control presents itself very differently for men and for women. And oftentimes there is more negative outcomes for women when they take control. So before we jump into it, guys, please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and let's jump into it. Now, I've been there so many times in my marriage. So don't think that you are the only one that has control issues, because I guarantee you that almost every woman watching this video has had or still has control issues, and it pops up from time to time and is not something that just magically goes away and you will never deal with it again. This is something that you will constantly have to revisit time and time again and have an inventory for yourself so that you can check in with yourself and say, hey, am I being controlling in this situation? And I think a lot of times women come with the best intentions. They want to help their marriage, they want to help their husband, they want to help their kids, but oftentimes it only ends with negative outcomes where you as the woman feel resentment, disgust, disdain for your marriage, for your husband, and sometimes for your kids. And so this video is an encouragement for women. If you are finding yourself in that control mindset that you feel like you have to control every situation, you need to have a mental inventory. You need to ask yourself, am I interfering with this person's growth and development? Am I making the situation worse by interfering? Am I causing more of a rift in the family? These questions are very important because it can determine if your involvement is necessary or not. And more often than not, it's not your involvement. I've found myself with issues with James where I felt the need to control every aspect of that situation. And it only resulted in him not wanting to be around me making the situation worse, him prolonging that act because he didn't want to change, because I was the vessel being used to deliver that message. Listen, ladies, sometimes the message doesn't have to come from you. It will come from a man that he respects, a colleague, his dad. Someone else needs to be the messenger, because if you are always delivering the message, you can easily become that nagging wife. Again, you are not alone. I've found myself in this situation plenty of times. So I'm going to give you some practical tools to help you if you find yourself in a situation where you think that you need to take control. Firstly, you can tell your husband how you feel, but there's two components to this that is very important. Firstly, you can't come in guns blazing. You have to have a level temperament. I know it's difficult if you're hurt by your husband or you are feeling anxious and all of these different feelings about it, but instead of bringing it up in the heat of the moment, take time to think about what you want to say. Take time to actually evaluate what the message needs to be. Then deliver the message. Deliver the message in a calm, cool, collective voice. It's going to be interpreted much better than yelling, screaming, crying, panting, all of those things. A lot of men turn off their ears when they hear those things. So deliver the message, cool, calm, collected. And secondly, say it once and drop it. I know that that is probably the hardest thing you've had to hear. I know it. I know it because if you continue to push the issue, one, you become nagging. Two, like I said, he's going to turn his ears off to what you're saying and he's just going to ignore you. And if you continue to do it, he's just going to get more pissed off and probably leave that task or, not do what he needs to do just purely out of spite. I know this is a difficult message for a lot of women. I know it because it was a difficult message for me. Something that I've learned from going to meetings, both grief meetings, Naranon, marriage counseling meetings, it's this, okay? You are powerless over the other person. That doesn't mean that you don't have the ability to check your own emotions, be accountable to yourself, and have personal accountability and responsibility. You have the ability to control your actions, how you're going to respond in certain situations, but you can't control the outcome. You can't control the other person's response. You can't control what your spouse does. The more control and the more you try to get involved with all of your husband's problems, all of that stuff, not only is it going to consume you, it's going to take space in your brain. And guess what? He's not thinking about it. He's not thinking about all of that stuff that you are consumed about. That is taking up space in your mind. You need to worry about how you are going to respond, how you are going to act. That is the only person that you need to be worried about. And once you make those changes, more often than not, your husband will also change too, because he'll see a different side of you. He'll see a different version of you. He'll think to himself, what's going on with her and why is she not freaking out about me? And he will start making changes. If your husband never wants to change and that problem never gets resolved, you have to make that decision for yourself. Are you gonna be okay with that? Are you gonna be happy regardless of the situation? Or are you gonna continue to just be a miserable person because of the external situations around you and how it affects you? You have to ask yourself that. I've talked about this in so many videos. Your happiness doesn't depend on your husband, on your kids. It truly doesn't. I know that's a hard pill to swallow. I've had to remind myself of that just recently. I can't control what my husband does. I can't control the lessons that he has to learn. I can choose how I'm going to respond. I can choose how I'm going to react. I can choose how I want to live. That's all relationships are. That's all what marriage is. You are powerless over the other person. You are powerless over the situation. The only thing that you have control of is yourself. Remember that. So that is my message for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Ladies, I hope that you take this message. I hope that you sit with it for a little bit. I know it's difficult. Trust me, I know it's difficult, okay? But it's a better way to live than driving yourself crazy because of someone else. I love y'all. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't subscribed yet. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.